A news hour tonight. Insecurity persists in northern Nigeria as calls for action grow louder. Arafat appointed acting Iran supreme leader. Rising egg prices strain families as Ramadan fasting enters 12th day. On the foreign scene, Kenyan MP among 6 killed in helicopter crash. Hello there and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Mariam Idris. Now, Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad has urged communities to defend themselves against bandit attacks with the support of security agencies and traditional measures. The governor made the remark during a visit to internally displaced persons, IDPs, who fled to several communities in Al-Qaleri local government area. Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
Governor Bala Muhammad, while sympathizing with the IDPs sheltered at government learning facility in Kashere, Gombe State, described the recent attacks as harrowing experience for Bauchi residents. He appealed for urgent federal government intervention, noting that thousands have been displaced by well-armed bandits. He also warned that the bandits are recruiting locals and outsiders through illegal mining activities.
We have to work with the federal government, with the security agencies and our community leaders to protect ourselves. In some communities, even women are coming out very bold to protect their families. We have to do that. I thank again the community of Kashere for accommodating us. And we are regretting any inconveniences caused because this is disrupting even educational pursuit in this school. And I understand that the secondary school under construction will be given to us. Please, as good ambassadors, we have never had IDPs in our lives as a state. This is the first time God is testing us with this. And the challenges are not insurmountable.
The governor announced plan to recruit 2,000 youths into vigilante groups to be trained as forest guards, emphasizing community involvement in protecting themselves. The Bauchi State Commissioner of Police, Sani Omolori Aliyu, assured that additional security personnel have been deployed to maintain law and order in the affected areas.
I want to assure the people that we are committed to immediate restoration of peace and security in that environment. All strategies and arrangements are being put in place to ensure that peace and security returns immediately to that axis. We cannot allow any space in Bauchi State to be an ungoverned space.
Other stakeholders from neighboring Gombe State share their perspectives on the situation. Even before meeting with Governor Inwa, he took decisive measures to ensure that all IDPs affected by the bandit attacks were kept safe, especially those in Kashere, Tokurma, and Tabre districts. We immediately directed district heads and security personnel to account for everyone and determine the exact number of IDPs here. I recall that we have always collaborated with the Emir of Bauchi on security matters. During your tenure, we have observed your proactive efforts to curb insecurity. We also recognize that Governor Inwa Yahaya is committed to maintaining security in Gombe State, which is generally peaceful. What happened today is unfortunate, and we continue to pray for peace and stability in our communities. Governor Bala Muhammad praised Gombe State Governor Inwa Yahaya for hosting the IDPs and commended the Kashere community, vowing continued collaboration with security agencies to protect the affected communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now let's take a deeper look at the attacks in northern Nigeria in Ramadan and what they signal about the security trend in the region. Between February 24th and March 1st, 2026, fresh violence hit at least 5 northern states. On February 25th, Gunmen attacked a mosque in Kebbi State during Ramadan prayers, killing worshippers. On February 26th, armed men raided communities in Plateau State, leaving several residents dead in coordinated night attacks. By February 27th, villages in Al-Aleri local government area of Bauchi State came under assault with reports of death and displacement. On February 28th, suspected insurgents struck parts of Madagali in Adamawa State, killing civilians and razing homes. Now, security sources also confirmed incidents in parts of the northwest within the same week, pointing to a wider pattern. These attacks come despite the presence of American support troops in northern Nigeria, deployed in a training and intelligence sharing role with Nigerian forces. Still on insecurity, Nigeria's National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has said that negotiating with terrorists is not compulsory, even though dialogue may sometimes be considered in addressing security challenges. Ribadu explained that some individuals involved in terrorist activities are Nigerians who may still desire peace, making engagement one of several possible approaches in tackling insecurity. He noted that the country's security situation is complex and cannot always be solved through military force alone, stressing that understanding the motivations of those involved in violence can help in finding lasting solutions. The NSA maintained that while dialogue may be explored in certain circumstances, the government is not obligated to negotiate with terrorist groups, and security agencies will continue to take necessary actions to protect lives and property.
Ana kokari a samu fahimta a tsayar da wannan abu. Samu fahimta kamar tattauna kake nufi ko sulhuntawa haka da su yan ta'adda. Yanzu a gida idan dan uwanka wanda yake gida guda.
If something happened to your brother whom you live in the same house, will you say he is not your brother? There is nothing you can do. You can't cut off your finger and throw it away. Whether we like it or not, family is family. There are many among them who want peace, and most of them want this issue to stop. It is important to note that we are not fighting against another country. They are not from other countries. It is a calamity that has arisen. By the grace of God, a resolution will be achieved. We thank God that there is improvement. We have never witnessed a time when terrorist kingpins are killed like this. Today, where is Ali Kachalla? Is he not the one that attacked the University of Gusau and abducted students? Where is Boderi? Where is Damina? Where is Dangote? And so on. Not everything can be discussed openly. Some operations don't require talk. There are places where before now you couldn't go peacefully, even in the afternoon. Now you can get in your car and travel to Kaduna, even at night. You can go to Kano. You can go to anywhere. Back in 2022, you know you couldn't do that, especially in Abuja, Lokoja, Nasarawa and Niger. Up till 2023, terrorists used to attack trains, prisons, and even gas battalion that protects our president.
Now joining us via Zoom to discuss the worsening insecurity in Nigeria, especially the northern part, is Aliu Mahmoud. He is a security expert. Hello, Mahmoud. Thank you for joining. Mahmoud, are you there? Mahmoud, kindly unmute your mic, please. Hello, Mahmoud. It seems Mahmoud is having difficulty with his network, so we'll move to the next story. Governor Umar Muhammad Bago of Niger State says more than 300,000 residents have been displaced across 10 local government areas due to persistent insecurity. The governor disclosed this while addressing journalists after receiving humanitarian support from the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction at the Justice Idris Legbo Kutiki International Conference Center in Minna. According to him, the exact number of displaced persons is still being assessed because attacks continue in affected communities. He assured that the state government is working with federal government and security agencies to restore peace and enable victims to return to their homes. And now the Jigawa State Police Command has arrested several suspected cattle rustlers, motorcycle thieves and drug dealers in multiple operations across Jigawa State. The police said the operations led to the recovery of a Golf 3 vehicle, 3 motorcycles, a cow, and more than 1,500 pieces of illicit drugs. The command noted that the arrests were part of ongoing efforts to combat crime and improve security in the state. Now, according to the command spokesperson, Shisulawan Adam, the suspects were intercepted by a patrol team attached to Hadija A Division along Hadija Kanu Road while driving a dark green Golf 3 station wagon suspected to have been used in transporting stolen livestock. Police said inspection of the vehicle revealed animal hair and droppings, alongside items such as rope, dry leaf suspected to be Indian hemp, a Rizla, a blanket, and an additional number plate. Now let's circle back to Mahmoud to discuss more on the insecurity issue. Hello, Mahmoud. Thank you for joining.
Evening, Mariam. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mariam.
Yeah, I'm listening now. With attacks rising during Ramadan, is this a new tactic by insurgents to exploit religious sentiment or a sign of their growing desperation?
Well, it goes to failure of intelligence gathering, then sustainability of combat operations. Because things apart, we have advocated for siting of permanent security structures. I want to tell you, in most of these places, even though known to security agencies, these non-state actors still carry out their nefarious activities untouched. I can give you few examples. Just like yesterday, some of the non-state actors were around table on the Kayama local government area of Kwara State. We were alerted. We got the information to certain security agencies. Whether they carried out onslaught against them, we don't know. So the issues are also non-presence of security agencies in certain areas, because as they are carrying out onslaught in certain areas, these non-state actors are also intelligent. They know there are a lot of places are ungoverned. Therefore, they go there tormenting and carrying out their own nefarious activities. Therefore, the security agencies need to spread their intelligence network and as well cover every area, even though we know they have shortage of manpower, because with few examples we are getting, it means once the security agencies are in one part, the insurgents and the bandits move to other parts. So I think it's not sentiment beyond that. It is lack of enough manpower, then intelligence network and coverage of many places that these insurgents have been disturbing.
Okay, despite international support, especially from the US, these attacks persist. Does this signal a failure in Nigeria's security strategy, or are there other factors at play?
Don't forget, there are certain locals that are also involved in this non-state activism, where some inhabitants know where they are, they live amongst them. So even with the coming of the few American soldiers who basically are to train our troops and as well guide them on intelligence and use of modern gadgets, you know, it takes time, because understanding the terrain is only our domestic troops, that is members of the armed forces and police and others are carrying out the onslaughts that knows the terrain. So it is not in all places that you will find them with the American soldiers. Then what is even their number? So the issues is not failure of the security agents. It is also failure of intelligence network, like I said to you, and non-availability of permanent security structures in most areas. Because if you go to most of these areas in northern part of Nigeria, whether northeast, northwest, and north central, not all even have presence of security structures before even the advent of armed banditry and insurgency. And the shortage of manpower is also another issue. The non-usage of drones and other modern gadgets, because in modern day onslaught, you don't expect combat operations always. Sometimes you dispatch drones, you dispatch certain intelligence network to gather intelligence. Look at how one GOC escaped ambush the other day. That is a strategy that works. So I think above combat operations, let intelligence network work, then dispatch of modern technology also work. Then what stopped the sighting of CCTV? Then this collaboration they've been having with local vigilantes and others, we learned it is now at minimal level. Why? Some of these local vigilantes, they have intel on the terrain of these areas. Like I just gave you an example of where we even got intelligence report and reported the movement of bandits and what have you. Immediately, if there is no reinforcement and the other ones, automatically they have their field there, then bad road networks are also a problem then, and visibility in the night is also a problem. There are certain areas where you cannot access in certain times of the night. So I think they need to get what these troops need, even with the support of the American water, because we cannot say our well-trained regular combatant officers don't have the wherewithal. But the strategy is also poor, because most at times you don't even dispatch intelligence network, you don't dispatch certain gadgets like drones, then you start moving. That is why sometimes you see they get ambushed. So I see no reason why you should just make convoy and be moving in the guise that you are going for onslaught against the non-state actors without dispatch of your intelligence network, without drones and other gadgets that you needed to do. The essence of this Americans supporting them is for them to also get some expertise on intelligence gathering as well as others. So it appears it's not enough, and shortage of manpower is also another barrier for them.
Okay, Mahmoud, what role can community-led initiatives play in countering these threats, and are they being leveraged effectively?
Come again, please. Come again, please.
What role can community-led initiative play in countering these threats, and are they being leveraged effectively? Are you there? Mahmoud, are you there?
Of Kayama, Kayama and Borgu, most of them, once there is any movement of bandits or insurgents, they normally report, where we in turn report to security agencies. So that is to tell you that the inhabitants of these areas have roles to play by giving privileged information. If you see their movement, you say that also helps the security agencies to act in time. Then again, sometimes the security agencies have their own faults. They, even while this privileged information are given, they don't act fast. I gave you an example of Table yesterday. While the bandits were moving around Table, we informed, they got us informed, we in turn dispatched the information to certain quarters with no response. At the end of the day, they had to attack Gadaoli under Borgu local government area of Niger State. So in a way, inhabitants of these areas have their ownership involvement role they have to play, which I believe certain communities have been playing, and I've given you examples of that. Beyond that, the defense civil cooperation as well as army civil relations need to go to communities to also sensitize and enlighten people on some of, because it appears in northwestern part, in northeastern part is not working. Outside the civilian joint task force, a lot of inhabitants also shield some of these non-state actors, and that is why severally you see when there are movement of troops, they even inform them and they come and ambush these innocent troops of the Nigerian Army, Air Force, DSS, and including the police.
All right, Mahmoud, thank you for your insights.
Thank you very much, Mariam. Have a nice deliberation. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, shifting focus to the Middle East, Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi has been appointed as the acting supreme leader of Iran, according to the Iranian Students News Agency. The development follows his election by the Expediency Disarmament Council as a jury's member of the Guardian Council within the country's Leadership Council. The Leadership Council is tasked with performing the responsibilities of the Supreme Leader until the Assembly of Experts appoints a permanent successor. The 67-year-old cleric, who currently serves on the powerful Guardian Council, was confirmed as part of the 3-member interim leadership body. Arafi will serve alongside President Masoud Pezeshkian and Chief Justice Ghulam Hussein Mohseni Ejeh, who together will oversee the country's leadership during the transition period. Meanwhile, casualties are rising as the conflict between the United States, Israel and Iran intensifies, with several deaths recorded across the region on the second day of hostilities. At least 9 people, including children, were killed when an Iranian missile struck a bomb shelter in the Israeli city of Beit Shemesh on Sunday. The incident followed the earlier death of a woman in Tel Aviv and a centenarian who reportedly died while rushing to a shelter. The attack came after strikes that reportedly killed Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, former Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who also reported dead amid the escalating crisis. The United States military confirmed that 3 American soldiers were killed during the ongoing operation, although officials did not provide details about where the death occurred. U.S. President Donald Trump had earlier warned that casualties among American troops were possible. And now at least 9 people have been killed and more than 50 others injured after protesters clashed with security forces while attempting to storm the U.S. consulate in Karachi, Pakistan. The violence erupted hours after the United States and Israel reportedly carried out an attack that killed Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Authorities said dozens of people were wounded, with some in critical condition. A police surgeon at the city's main government hospital, Somalia, said Tariq confirmed that 6 bodies were initially brought to the facility before the death toll rose to 9 after 3 critically injured victims died. Senior police official Irfan Baloch said protesters attacked the perimeter of the U.S. consulate, smashed windows and set a nearby police post on fire before security forces dispersed the crowd. The United States Embassy in Pakistan said it was monitoring demonstrations in Karachi and other cities, including Lahore, Islamabad, and Peshawar, advising American citizens to avoid large gatherings and remain vigilant. And I'm back to Kaduna, Nigeria. Protesters under the banner of Kaduna Citizens Watch for Good Governance marched through the state over the weekend to demand accountability in ongoing investigations involving former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. The demonstrators converged at the offices of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, chanting solidarity songs and holding placards calling for thorough probes and possible prosecution of the ex-governor. Just TV's Bello Musa reports.
Comrade Victor Jr., chairman of the group, praised the actions of the anti-graft agencies, describing their questioning and detention of El-Rufai as a bold response to the public outcry over alleged financial mismanagement during his 8-year tenure. Junior referenced a June 5, 2024 report by the Kaduna State House of Assembly's Ad Hoc Committee, which reportedly indicted El-Rufai for the alleged diversion of 432 billion naira in public funds.
We, the member of Kaduna Citizen Watch for Good Governance, stand before you today to commend the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, and the Department of State Security Services, DSS, for their courage and professionalism in holding the immediate past governor of Kaduna State accountable for his 8 years of stewardship.
He stated that citizens have filed petitions urging federal agencies to act on the findings, insisting that justice must not be selective.
We urge the ICPC, EFCC and DSS to remain focused and not be distracted by the wailing of minority voices and political apologists who are currently screaming and attempting to dwarf the voice of reasons. The attempt by the former governor aides to distract the public claims of nosebleed and health scars is a cheap tactic to gain sympathy and derail the cause of justice.
The group further demanded clarity on ongoing security-related investigations linked to the former administration, emphasizing that public trust in institutions depends on thorough, impartial handling of such cases.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested notorious drug trafficker Reginald Peter Chidebere, who had been on the run for 13 years. He was apprehended following the seizure of large consignments of cocaine and heroin at Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Chidebere was first arrested in 2013 over cocaine smuggling, but he had evaded authorities ever since. In addition to Chidebere's arrest, NDLEA operatives conducted multiple nationwide operations. In February 2026, large quantities of skunk, methamphetamine, codeine syrup, tramadol, and other opioids were seized. Suspects were apprehended in several states, including Lagos, Kano, Katsina, Osun, Taraba, Borno, and FCT Abuja. The chairman and chief executive officer of NDLEA, Mohammed Buba Marwa, commended the officers for their dedication and persistence. He highlighted the balance maintained between efforts to reduce both drug supply and demand. And the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has uncovered a nationwide fraud syndicate that deployed artificial intelligence tools to defraud candidates during registration for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The report.
The suspects reportedly posed as JAMB officials, circulating AI-manipulated videos and images to mislead the public, with more than 100 candidates across 25 states linked to the network, and 83 confirmed to have paid for illegal services.
And you can see that most of these fraudsters are proprietors of what they call tutorial classes. Most are remedial classes. Why wouldn't you go to established school? Why are you going to uncompleted buildings in the name of tutorial school? There was one, I took a picture in one market that says Center of Excellence. Can you remember? Where is in Lagos? Bring it out, let them see it. Inside the market, Bariga market. Yes, even on the board, you will see it's a tutorial class. It says Center of Excellence.
JAMB Registrar Professor Isiaq Oleyede described the scheme as a serious threat to the merits and fairness in the education system. He warned that candidates and parents who subscribe to the illegal service cannot claim ignorance. Professor Oleyede revealed that investigations led to the arrest of several suspects, including some tutorial centers and school proprietors allegedly involved in the scheme. Certain candidates were reportedly moved across states and lodged in hotels to facilitate malpractice. The registrar emphasized that the board will recommend the cancellation of registrations for those found culpable and dismissed reports of an increase in UTME registration fees. He also urged the public to report any computer-based tests, CBT centers charging above approved rates, noting that some airing centers had already been suspended.
The only problem we have is public opinion. That what we have, the information we have, if we act on them, people will see us as draconian. Because if we had not shared some of the things we have, and we are taking decision, for instance, that all these people, we want to cancel their registration this year, which is we are recommending to the Honorable Minister, that those who were in the net of this artificial intelligence fraudster and those who have applied, even if we cannot ban all those who have applied, all those who paid, knowing fully well that they signed the form and they knew what they were paying for. So, and we are appealing to the press too, please assist us in making sure that you appeal to parents. One disturbing aspect that we have not looked at, look at the high number of underage candidates. Students who want to come in by the fact that they are brilliant. They claim they are brilliant.
Minister of Works David Umahi has dismissed allegations of sexual harassment, saying there is nothing wrong with being accused of pursuing a woman. Umahi made the statement on Saturday while responding to claims by a woman, Tracy Ohiri, who accused him of sexual misconduct. The minister defended his record, insisting that he does not owe anyone and has never harassed anyone during his years in public office. He emphasized that the allegations do not reflect his character or conduct while serving in government roles. Umai's response comes amid growing public attention and debate over the claims, with the matter still under scrutiny.
I want to thank a lot of you who know me very well, party chairman. I owed nobody, and of course I presided over both men and women, and nobody ever said, I harassed him or I owed him. Deputy governor, governor for 8 years, and I did fantastic infrastructure, so nobody could come and say he's been owed, unless the person is being the check. So, what you read on social media, I'm not worried about it. It makes me stronger, and I've fought many battles. So this is nothing. There's nothing wrong to say, oh, you are chasing a woman. But if it is Natasha that is accusing me of chasing her, then my face will be bolder. But, not anyhow person that will accuse this handsome man of chasing him for 12 years. That person must be the Queen of England. Because any one man that cannot chase a Senator Natasha for 12 years. So it's just to make social media to be alive. But I think we can turn our attention to the war in Iran now, and then allow Dave Umai to bless.
This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Rising egg prices strain families as Ramadan fasting enters 12th day. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a recap of our major stories again. Insecurity persists in northern Nigeria as calls for action grow louder. Arafat appointed acting Iran supreme leader. Now moving on to more stories. As the holy month of Ramadan enters its 12th day, Muslim faithful across Katsina metropolis continue to observe the sacred fast with devotion and sacrifice. But amid the spiritual reflection and nightly prayers, many families are grappling with a growing concern: the scarcity and rising cost of eggs, a staple food item for breaking the fast. An egg now sells for as high as 300 naira in some parts of the city, while a crate, depending on a size and availability, has become increasingly difficult to find. For many households already stretched by economic realities, the development is adding to the hardship of the season. Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
As the sun sets over the city of Katsina and the call to Maghrib prayer echoes across neighborhoods, families gather around modest meals to break their fasts. Eggs, once an affordable and reliable source of protein, have traditionally been a quick and easy option for suhoor and iftar. But this Ramadan, the story is different. Across major markets and retail outlets in Katsina metropolis, eggs have become scarce. At several stalls visited by Trust TV, empty crates tell a troubling story. Traders say supplies are inconsistent, and when available, prices are significantly higher than usual. While prices of grains such as maize, guinea corn, and millet remain relatively stable due to lower demand, commodities like rice, vegetable oil, meat, fish, and now eggs continue to rise as demand increased during the fasting period. Residents say the scarcity has forced them to rethink their meal plans. For many low-income families, eggs were once the most affordable way to provide protein for children and elderly family members during Ramadan. Now, they are turning to alternatives: beans, local grains, or smaller portions, just to make ends meet. I have visited many areas across Katsina metropolis searching for eggs, but I couldn't find any. I am now heading to an outlet in Shagarelo Coast to check if they have Many traders transport eggs to Niger because of the higher profit there. This, combined with the increased demand during the fasting period, has contributed to the current shortages. However, we hope that supplies will improve soon. Some poultry farmers attribute the scarcity to harsh weather conditions affecting poultry production, while others blame increased seasonal demand that typically accompanies Ramadan.
There are times that you find out that there is high demand of the products, especially during fasting period and during cold season. You find out that more people now engage, or rather find it more easier to consume egg than in hot season. So this, I think, is the main factor that caused this scarcity in the market, because there is high demand and there are more people that are now patronizing, that are now consuming egg.
Another factor is the insecurity. Insecurity is one of the factors that made most of the farms to close down or even reduce the production. So all these are the factors that normally affect egg production in Katsina in particular and Nigeria in general.
As Ramadan continues, residents hope for urgent intervention to stabilize supply and prices. For many in Katsina, the spirit of the holy month is about patience, charity, and community support. But with food prices climbing and essential items becoming scarce, the test of endurance now extends beyond the fast itself. For now, families across the metropolis continue to adapt, holding firmly to faith, even in the face of economic strain. Abdullahi Isma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Prince Adewale Adebayo, the Social Democratic Party SDP presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, has hinted at possible alliances among opposition parties, stressing the need for unity among patriots committed to truth and accountability. Adebayo made the remark while attending a Ramadan iftar with religious leaders in Kano State and during a condolence visit to PDP chieftain Ibrahim Shekarau following the death of his elder brother. Speaking during the engagement, Adebayo highlighted the importance of collaboration among opposition parties to strengthen democratic processes and ensure transparency in governance. The SDP candidate's call for unity underscores a growing sentiment among opposition figures to consolidate efforts for effective political accountability.
Nigeria should expect the unification of patriots, of people who believe in the truth and who believe in the day of judgment, that one day whatever you do, you will account for it. So party is not a dividing line for people who believe in the truth. Party is not a dividing line for those who are free from corruption. Party is not a dividing line for those who are selfless.
He's coming all the way to Kano. It's a clear indication of a genuine relationship, genuine brotherhood, regardless of differences of political platforms. And this is exactly the kind of culture we want to propagate in Nigeria. Whatever party you are in, let all remember that we are aiming towards the same goal of making life better for Nigerians.
The Nigeria Police Force has suspended the traditional Taishe performance in Kano during Ramadan, citing security concerns. The decision aims to prevent criminal activities that sometimes accompany the festival, especially during the 10th day of Ramadan, when the event is usually held. Taishe is a cultural tradition where men dress in masks and comical attire, dramatizing life experiences and satirizing events or individuals in the community. While meant for entertainment, the festivities have occasionally been exploited by criminal elements to commit crimes or cause disturbances. Police spokesman CSP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa said the suspension followed consultations with the state government. Now, authorities have also put in place measures to maintain security and ensure residents enjoy a peaceful Ramadan period. Kiyawa added that the police, under Commissioner Ibrahim Bakori, are urging parents and guardians to supervise their children and wards. This is to prevent participation in activities that could breach law and order or endanger public safety. And now the Onitsha North Local Government Council has commenced the demolition of illegal structures at Onitsha Main Market to restore the original master plan and improve trading activities in the commercial hub. The move was confirmed in a post by Anambra State New Media on Sunday. The exercise follows an earlier notice issued by the council through the office of the mayor on February 26th, warning traders and occupants of the impending demolition. Owners of illegal structures at Park 1, Park 2 and Park 3 were reminded that the grace period granted to them had expired. Chairman Anthony Nwora noted that the deadline had been extended by 14 days at the request of affected occupants, with the new expiration set for February 28th, 2026. The council advised traders to remove their belongings ahead of the enforcement date to avoid losses.
Market. Demolition of the market as I demolish. Case of one on way he can attack Malena will be demolition. So random life and dialect. You know plan. So I got a lot last night and about 3 days. So when now quality government market. Quality government market. Ketan Naga Ivana. Ketan name vida on I can on. Now quality government market. Quality government market. I can on now.
In another story, 4 persons have died following a stampede during the distribution of Ramadan arms at Ofar Guga quarters in Katsina State. The Katsina State Police Command said the incident occurred on February 26th at about 9 p.m. when a large crowd gathered at the residence of philanthropist Alhaji Dahir Usman Sarki to receive annual Ramadan charity. Police Public Relations Officer Abubakar Aliyu explained that officers were deployed to the scene after the Central Police Station received a distress call about the crowd situation. The Commissioner of Police, Bello Shehu, expressed condolences to the families of the victims and wished those injured a quick recovery, while ordering further investigation into the incident. The police also urged individuals and organizations planning arms distribution or similar events to inform security agencies beforehand to enable proper crowd control and security arrangements. And our young people in Ayakoro community have been urged to preserve their cultural heritage and avoid adopting foreign lifestyles that conflict with their traditions. The call was made during the 2026 Eyal Obeyin Ayakoro Festival, where community leaders said the annual event continues to promote peace, unity and cultural pride among the people of Ayakoro. Trust TV's Ebimopowe Peters reports.
28th, the atmosphere in Ayakoro on Friday 28 February 2026 was filled with excitement and celebration as various masquerade through the spectators with captivating traditional dance performances.
Ayakoro Community Cultural Festival 2023.
The festival festival also featured traditional canoe paddling, reflecting the community's strong cultural identity and deep connection to its riverine heritage. Speaking at the event, Immaculata Love Amasimwa recalled that 68 years ago, the people of Ayakoro migrated from a hazardous environment to their present settlement. She urged the younger generation not to forget their roots, but to uphold the customs and traditions handed down by their forefathers.
Remembrance very much for today, they crossed over from a very hazardous environment to this present environment about 68 years ago. It is worth celebrating. It is also a commemoration of culture, because most of these things they are displaying today have come and gone, and today we are remembering them. They are bringing them all back, and we must, as a matter of fact, uphold our culture. Children must not forget where they are coming from and emulate the foreign culture. Our boys are now wearing earrings, plaiting hair, man to man, woman to woman, married. It's absurd. It's not a practice in the Jordan or even in Nigeria.
Also speaking, businessman Obi Kubana and the managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Samuel Umbuku, described the festival as a symbol of peace, unity, and prosperity. They emphasized the importance of sustaining such cultural celebrations for the development of the community.
Things like this actually nurture togetherness. It's about peace. It's about prosperity. So I recommend that we should be held, we should be encouraged, we should be supported in any way possible.
Fight challenges. Without Karamba, the community came here and eventually peace.
Thank you very much, Barrister Jude Rex Obuku, for the closing remarks. We're going to have...
The festival featured a variety of cultural displays and colorful activities, with the presence of the state governor adding prestige to the occasion. From Ayakoro community, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News.
You are still watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news continues after the break. Welcome back, and now to business news. Nigeria accounted for about 52% of Africa's crude oil exports to the United States in 2025, according to the latest data released by the United States Census Bureau. Figures from the U.S. International Trade in Goods and Services report show that total American crude imports from Africa stood at 89.371 million barrels in 2025, down from 103.631 million barrels recorded in 2024. The decline represents a drop of 14.26 million barrels, or 13.8% of the total crude imported from Africa in 2025. Nigeria supplied 46.618 million barrels compared to 50.793 million barrels in 2024. This reflects a year-on-year decline of 4.175 million barrels, or 8.2% in Nigeria's export volume to the U.S. Despite the lower shipment, Nigeria's share of Africa's crude exports to the United States increased. On the way from Nigeria, 6 people, including a member of parliament, have died after a helicopter crashed in western Kenya. The aircraft went down on Saturday in Nandi County. Now, authorities said the cause of the crash is yet to be determined. County Police Commander Samuel Makusi confirmed that the victims include the pilot, a member of parliament, and 4 other passengers. Reacting to the incident, William Ruto expressed condolences to the families of the victims. In a statement, the president said his thoughts and prayers are with the family. friends and constituents of the lawmaker, as well as all those affected by the tragedy in Mossop. Authorities says investigations are underway to determine the cause of the crash, while the identities of the other passengers have not yet been officially released. On sport, Super Eagles goalkeeper Amos Obasogie has publicly responded to his 3-month suspension by Tanzanian side Singida Black Stars over alleged match fixing, firmly denying any wrongdoing and insisting that his mistakes on the pitch should not be misinterpreted as deliberate misconduct. In a strongly worded statement, the Nigerian shot-stopper described the allegations as deeply concerning and reaffirmed his commitment to clearing his name. He explained that the goals conceded in the CAF Confederation Cup match against Flambeau de Center and the NBC Premier League fixture against Namungo's FC were the result of footballing errors, not deliberate misconduct. Obasogie stressed that as a national team goalkeeper representing Nigeria, he fully understands the severe consequences associated with match fixing, noting that his integrity, reputation, and career are invaluable to him. And with that, we've come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Maria Medres. Thank you for watching.